Today we've got exciting news from Princess regarding their 2025-2026 Southeast Asia and Japan itineraries. MSC is trying to make it so that parents, grandparents who sail and bring children along with them have an even better time, as well as the children they sail with. So I'm going to tell you all about that. I've got the answer to the question that I asked you yesterday. We are also going to talk about Princess hotels, and this is kind of across the board for all cruise lines, but I'm going to talk about Princess specifically, what you need to know if you decide to stay in a Princess hotel, some things to look at if you're trying to decide what to do, and really what the convenience is, and lots more. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi there, this is Allison with Let's Go Travel Tips. Today is Wednesday, it is May 29th of 2024, and let's start at the very top talking about Princess's exciting announcement today. They have announced that they are going to extend their 2025 and 2026 season in Japan and Southeast Asia. So apparently 2023 was a record-breaking year for tourism in Japan, and the sales of the cruises there were very strong. So Princess has announced that on both ends of that season in 2025, they're going to start a little bit earlier, and 2026, they are going to extend the time that they spend sailing in Japan and Southeast Asia so that they can fit in more cruises. Why is this exciting? It's because they are adding a lot of itineraries that they have not had before, as well as it kind of opens up the opportunity that we all have to fit a cruise to Japan in. And I don't know if we'll see them a little bit more affordably priced, but there's lots to think about. So first of all, here's some things I want you to know. You can go on a cruise. They're going to range in length from 9 days to 22 days, or if you want to put a couple of them together, you can have a 40-day cruise in that region. Some of the itineraries that I thought really stood out to me, they are going to have a whole 13-day fall foliage cruise there in Japan. They're going to have a 9-day Circle Japan, which is going to kind of circumnavigate the country and go to some ports that you don't always see on cruise itineraries. They've got a 9-day Southern Island itinerary. So as you look at those islands there, you look at the map of Japan, they're going to focus in that itinerary on the more southern islands. They've got a 10-day Kyushu and Korea cruise. So on that cruise, they will not only be sailing around Japan, but they'll also be going to Korea. They've got itineraries that go to Korea and Taiwan. And then at the end of the season, when they get done, they are going to have a couple of cruises that really stand out to me. It's like the ones that we had to cancel so that we can go on the inaugural for the Star Princess this coming year. But they've got a 14-day cruise that is going to go to Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam. And they've got a 16-day cruise as well that also hits that port, that is also going to call in Halong Bay, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. And so that's a really big deal. And then they're going to have at the very end, they're going to have that 14-day sailing that is going to go from Singapore to get back over to Tokyo again, where they will reposition the Diamond Princess from. So a lot of things to look forward to. I think 2026 might end up being a nice year for Japan. If you're interested in going on a group cruise there, let me know. If people aren't really interested, we'll still go. But just thought I would ask. It sounds like a lot of fun to me. And you know what? Put in the comments if you have been on a cruise in Japan, and if you have gone on Princess, no matter who you've sailed on, let us know what you really enjoyed, if you would do it again, and if you haven't done Japan yet and you want to. Okay, now let's talk about MSC for a minute. So as I have been reading this news coming out of MSC, I think that the decision that they have made really has two separate sides to it. So for this summer, MSC is really upping their game when it comes to what is offered for children. And I think the reason they are doing it is because they want children to want to go on a cruise. They want them to have a wonderful time so that when they get home, they try to talk their parents or grandparents or both into taking them on another cruise. In addition to that, they want the parents who go on these cruises to have such a wonderful time that they're looking forward to getting back as quickly as they can on another cruise. So some of the changes that MSC is making and some things that they are adding is, first of all, they are going to start having childcare available for babies that are 6 months and up. Before now, it was for children who were 1 year and up. So a baby had to be at least a year old. Now they're moving that down to 6 months. That makes a really big difference in how much freedom the parents enjoy, or the grandparents, whoever it is that's in charge of childcare there. So I think that's a really big deal. Another thing that they're going to do is they have their Do-Re-Mi land, and that is a time when the parents can come and be in the children area with children. So they've got set times that area is open for parents to join in, and it's a fun time for parents and children to play together and do things together. So they are going to do that even more. And they have on MSC these fun family game shows, and they had one already that is called Master Chef at Sea Juniors. And what they do is they'll have these game shows that children are the star, and then their parents are kind of doing the game show with them. So those are popular enough that MSC is announcing 2 more. And so the 2 that they're going to add is they're going to add one called Break the Wall and MSC Dance Crew. And like I said, that's for children who are, like they say, the stars of the game show, but then also the parents join in with them. So if you have seen these on MSC as they have them thus far, let us know in the comments what you thought. And does the changes that MSC is making to their children's program, does that make it more likely that you would like to try going on an MSC cruise? MSC is the brand we talk about around here, and sometimes people really want to go. Sometimes they've been and they don't want to go again. Sometimes they've been and they're happy to go again. So it really is kind of a personal taste, and I think it can also vary, as it can so often, on maybe what cruise you were on, which ship you were on. But I think that it is evident that MSC is here to stay. They are in it for the long game. They are ordering more and more ships. They are going to more and more ports and doing their best to not only break into the U.S. cruise market here, but also all over the world. They're doing really a good job of having beautiful ships and amazing itineraries. So let me know what you think about that. Okay, so the next thing, you know what, I'm going to tell you this really quickly. I forgot to, but I want you to know the different ages that they've got kids clubs for in MSC. So they've got that Baby Club Chico, which Chico is the company that they are partnering with to be able to offer childcare to babies age 6 months and up. So in that area of the ship, you're going to have children who are age 6 months to 2 years. The Mini Club Lego, which they have real Legos on board, is 3 to 6 year olds. Junior Club Lego is 7 to 11 years old. The Young Club is teenagers or preteens who are 12 to 14 years of age. And finally, the Teen Club is for children who are 15 to 17. So once you hit that 18-year-old mark, you can't go to the kids clubs anymore. Let's talk about Princess Hotels for a minute. Now, I keep getting a lot of questions about Princess Hotels, so that's why we're going to talk about them, and I hope that I can add something, and those of you who have experienced them, put things in the comments that will help everyone. So Princess and other cruise lines, as a courtesy and as an offer of convenience, and I'm sure they make money doing it as well, they offer the ability to stay in a hotel the night before your cruise. Usually it's just one night. Every once in a while you see a hotel that's available for 2 nights before the cruise or 2 nights after, but usually it's just one night on the beginning or end of a cruise. You can book that hotel with Princess. As you book it, they tell you the price for it, and with that comes the luxury of being met at the airport. They transfer you to the hotel, and then in the morning they transfer you from the hotel to the ship. You don't have to pay for separate transfers. That's all part of the service. Now, with that, there's a few things that I think you might like to know. First of all, it really varies widely by how much the Princess Hotel, and this is true for other cruise lines, like I said, how much those cruise line hotels cost compared to that hotel if you booked it on your own, that exact same hotel for the exact same night, as well as for other hotels in the region. A lot of times they are more expensive. Always they pick a nice hotel. So there's a couple that I want to tell you about, just my firsthand experience. So staying at the Marriott LAX they're right by LAX airport. That is the hotel that Princess uses. Right there, right by it, is the LAX Hilton, where Gordon and I have stayed before. And the price that you book staying at the LAX Marriott with Princess, and the price that you book staying at the Hilton there, LAX Hilton, is really, really similar. And so you can have the luxury, if you would like, of being met at the airport, taken over to that hotel, and then transported out to the ship the next morning. A few things that I like about that is really, truly the convenience. They're going to meet you. They're going to help you with your luggage. You don't have to worry about a thing. The only thing that I have noticed is they generally leave to take you to the ship later than I like to go. So you have to just kind of decide, is the trade-off worth it or not? Another experience that we have had firsthand with that is staying at the hotel that we have stayed at in Rome before. It's right over by Termini. And one time when we were there to go on a cruise on Princess, we noticed that they did have the table set up, and the Princess rep was there, and she was very kind. We let her know we were going on the cruise, just chit-chatting, and she offered that we could take the transfer the next morning from the hotel rather than having, to either take the taxi out to the port or go back to the airport and take the transfer there. And it ended up that I didn't want to wait that late in the day. I wanted to go earlier, so we just got ourselves down to the ship, and it worked out just perfectly. But those are some things that I think you should keep in mind. They do take good care of your luggage. You're going to pull up. Once you leave the airport, they're going to pull up. They'll get your luggage off of the bus for you. You'll be able to get right in the hotel and get situated. The next morning, when you get off of when you come out to go on the transfer down to the ship, you're going to hand them your luggage. They'll put it under the bus. And I have seen it done two ways. I have seen it done that when you get to the port, they just unload it right there, and there's people to take the luggage, and you don't really have to do anything with it. Or sometimes you take your luggage and then just wheel it over to where you turn it in at the port. Either way, it works really smoothly. So I hope this helps some of you, and it helps you be able to navigate a little bit what you want to do with hotels before and after your cruise. One thing I will tell you is it really kind of varies by location and cruise, like how soon before the cruise the availability for those hotels opens up. I know on some of the reservations right now, you can put yourself on a wait list for that for a cruise that's not going to be happening for a year and a half. Some of them, there's not even a wait list far out. And then there are some cruises, and I've noticed a lot of them are going out of Florida, that some of them don't open up until like 6 or 8 months out. So it really kind of just depends, I think, on the port and the connections and the relationships that Princess already has set up with the hotels there. Here's an update for you. This is firsthand, so let me know in the comments if you have sailed on Princess and on Holland America. Do you have a preference? Let us know. We've got Let's Go family members who are on the Zuider Dam right now. They are on a cruise, and they happen to have been in Berlin today, and it was really sweet. She sent me a message, and she said everything is going just great, but Holland America is not, Princess. And I just smiled because she knows it, and she said we're having a great time anyway. But it really brought home to me how important it is to really look for the experience that you want and then book your cruise accordingly. But here's the note that I want us to think about. So they did the excursion that goes into Berlin. When you go from the cruise port there, I think it's called Warnemünde, at least that's the one they used when we did it, you take a train ride it's right there at the port, clear into Berlin. It takes a couple of hours. Then you sightsee in Berlin all day long, and then you take that train ride back out. She was saying that they were supposed to be back to the ship by 7:30, but there was a major backup, and they got delayed there on the train tracks, and so now they are hoping to be back to the ship by 10:30 p.m. All aboard was at 9:30 p.m. So she was just telling me how glad she was that they booked their excursion with the cruise line. So I thought it was just a really good reminder to book your excursions, especially ones that go so far afield, book them with the cruise line so that if something unexpected comes up, you're covered. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, will you please go ahead and subscribe? We'd love to have you with us. We need your support. And if you appreciate my updates, would you please give this video a thumbs up? Thank you so very much. Then today I just wanted to do a really quick follow-up with you yesterday. Just for fun, I asked you the question about what you would do if you were supposed to be flying to Australia and you found yourself arriving in Austria because you had accidentally booked your ticket to the wrong location. Did you know that in the airport in Austria there in Vienna, they actually have a desk for people who somehow accidentally booked their flights to arrive at that airport as compared to arriving in Australia where they were supposed to go? I thought it would be kind of fun to talk about it. If I did that, if I were going to be able to get to go on a cruise from Australia, I would hurry up and try to get myself down to Australia to catch that cruise. But otherwise, I would just stay in Austria because I often think that things happen for a reason. And I would just look for the wonderful experiences that I would be having unexpectedly and have a lovely time in Austria. So if you haven't answered the question yet from yesterday, put your answer in the questions today. Now, another fun one that occurred to me is if you thought you were going to book a ticket and go to Athens, Georgia, or to Athens, Greece, and you accidentally got to the wrong one, then what you do. I think that most of the time we would hopefully figure that out before we got there, but sometimes funny things happen in life. And so if you ever find yourself unexpectedly, and there's a reason I'm telling you this, if you ever unexpectedly find yourself in Athens, just take a taxi from the airport over to the Acropolis, climb those magnificent steps, and sit down on the marble bench, and then start looking around. Feel the wind blowing against your face. Look at the Acropolis. Look over at the Erechtheion. Look over at the Temple of Athena Nike. All of the places that are so beautiful there. And think not only about where you are geographically, but where you are in the whole continuum of time and history. Think of all the things that have occurred in that place, and now you're part of history as you sit there and soak it all up. And I'm a firm believer that we can do that no matter where we are. Some places are grander perhaps to do that, but it's really important to appreciate where we're going. And as we travel, it makes us better people, makes us more tolerant. We're better world citizens, and it overall just changes us inside. And so I hope you think about that as you're planning your travel plans or thinking about what you want to do next. I really appreciate you being here with me today, and I look forward to seeing you here again tomorrow. I'll be talking to you all again really soon. You all take really good care. God bless you. Love you. Bye.